All right, so Robert Greene has a lot of strategies in his book, The Art of Seduction, that are considered evil from our culture's point of view. And a lot of people get triggered by it. But the truth is that even though you might consider those strategies evil, they still conform with human nature. He is still explaining a phenomena. It's like describing the color of the sky or describing how animals eat. Just because you have to talk about gruesome shit like eating an animal alive or starting eating them from their ass and then going from there, like describing it doesn't make you a villain, right? Because that's just nature. These are strategies that look villainous, but they're just part of nature. So we're going to talk about some of the most what you would consider evil strategies, and consider what I'm this criticism in terms of evil, like almost like I'm describing how hyenas eat. They eat an animal alive from its ass, and they just start biting away at it. Like it's fucked up. I get it. It's really evil. I get it, but it's a phenomenon. All right. So let me describe to you the ones that we consider to be the most evil, because compared to hyenas versus a lion, we consider the way a lion eats its prey more humane, because at least it chokes you out. It's an instant death. It's not, you don't have to suffer, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm comparing a natural thing without judgment and giving you guys a scoop. So the first one is this: isolating your victim. All right. So what Robert Greene tries to explain is that life is way too short. You can't be going around pursuing the wrong victim. You leave those who are successful to who are immune to your charms alone. Right? What you want to do is look for the signs of the perfect victim. And how do you know that? The way that they respond to you, right? Do they have an unusual shyness? Do they do they unconsciously mirror you? Other signs is the way that you respond to them, which we'll talk about right now, right? So for example, signs that this person is a perfect victim. One, it's not about the physical quality of this person, but an emotional one that makes them the perfect victim. Maybe they're the opposite of what you are. Maybe they are what you would be if you were a woman or a man. Maybe they are an introvert when you're really an extrovert. Maybe they're conservative when you're somebody who's super liberal, right? A good victim is one that you could take into a whole new world, that you could show them parts of themselves that they've never seen before. A good victim is one that doesn't have much to do, that has a lot of free time, that isn't too busy, that is bored rather than entertained, that has fewer sounds fucked up, people, that has fewer friends, and that is more to themselves. Because then people, this is wrong, but I'm just saying, because then you have their undivided attention, right? Another perfect type of victim is the chronically unhappy, the ones that don't have a purpose, right? Because what happens is that everyone is looking for a need to worship something, a desire, or they want to believe in something. If you can make them believe in you, if you can make them believe that you're the one that could potentially take them out of their lives into a whole new world, they will fall for you. They will believe your gospel. They will recruit people for you. So you want to look for those who have unfulfilled needs, or those who feel ostracized from society, who feel that they don't fit in. Those are the perfect people, because then they have such a strong need to fit in, such a strong need to be accepted, that they'll gravitate towards you. People with daddy issues, with their with horrible past. In fact, a lot of cults start from, for example, like if you go to some rehab centers, a lot of them are cults masquerading as rehab. And the reason why is because a rehab center, you pretty much attract people who are looking for purpose, people who are weak, people who are looking for somebody to believe in, people who are looking to surrender to a higher power. And those are literally the perfect victim. And the reason why is because they will fall in a spell of love, and they're just more easily, they believe more things essentially. right? Let me read this. So when a victim is perfect for you, you become more charismatic, and your emotions for them animate your gestures. You become more creative in your romanticism. When the guy or girl is a perfect victim for you, you're able to overcome the resistance, as a good victim should. But you should also restrain yourself. Never go for the first person that seems to like you, because going for the first person that seems to like you isn't strength, it's reality weakness. You want to be patient, right? Look for victims in troubled waters. For women, a manly man is easier to seduce. So if you're a woman, the perfect victim is a man who has a high ego, right? These men enjoy being made to chase, to chase women. Always aim for introvert targets rather than extroverts. A lot of the times, the extrovert ones are the ones more self-consumed and hiding insecurity. The shy ones will yearn for you to draw them out, right? So it's almost like dating a conservative woman who's never, or even dating, like, for a perfect example is dating an Amish girl who it's her first day out of the Amish clan, right? And she's looking for a party, right? That's a perfect example, right? Because you have this new person yearning to explore the world, yearning to get in some fucking trouble, and here you come, Big Daddy D, right, about to present her this whole new world, and she'll look at you almost as though you were a tour guide to this new dimension per se, right? Always aim for the introverts, right? Look for victims who have a lot of time in their hands and avoid those who are busy. Your perfect victim is somebody who has something that things you have. The perfect victim is somebody who has something that you don't have. Maybe their temperament are the opposite, right? So go for somebody who has something that you don't have, right? Maybe there's somebody maybe you're super organized and they're disorganized, right? Maybe they're introverts and you're an extrovert. In political groups, right? Or look for victims who are bored and lack excitement and fun. In other words, go to the suburbs and find a girl from there, right? Look for victims who are repressed and ultra disciplined, like super conservative people. They yearn to let out water, to be let out. In politics, right? For example, you could use this in politics. You could look for the right group. Not everyone could be seduced. Tailor your message for the most vulnerable and younger people, right? Because those are the ones that could take up on an identity that you give them, because they don't have an identity, right? So a big factor in looking for the perfect victim is looking for the young ones and the naive people and the traumatized and the fucking broken ones. Jesus Christ, people, I'm going straight to hell. So that's the first one. So the next evil tactic that Robert Greene teaches, right, is this strategy that I'm going to teach you works best when your target has this strategy works best when you know your target has defenses up against you, right? When this person is doubting you, when this person thinks maybe you're manipulated, don't do this when you know that the target is easily yours. That's not the person who you're going for. When in doubt, take the indirect approach rather than direct. So for example, let me tell you how the insinuation works, right? Rather than saying, let's just say you want to make a guy feel or a girl feel insecure about or you want them to be competitive, right? Maybe you want them to feel that you have competition in your life, right? Rather than saying, oh yeah, my dancing instructor, he's really hot and he could bang me if he wants to, you know that, right? Or even rather than saying, hey, I have a lot of female friends and they really like me, rather than saying that, you could insinuate it. Right? The way the human mind works is that words are the most powerful things you could use to sow confusion, right, and disorder in somebody's mind. Words are the ones that are what we use to pretty much, you could potentially split someone up inside, right? And the best and the most seductive type of word is the indirect words that that look one way, but in reality is going in the other. Right. And
now, if you guys enjoy that content and you guys enjoy my point of view about how to attract women into your life, well, maybe you guys should check out our Patreon. On our Patreon, we also break down more videos and we talk more of a broad perspective, like how masculine frame changes the way a woman feels about you, how Robert Greene on stimulating fantasy and desire. We also have a Robert Greene book club where we react to his books such as The Art of Seduction. We talk about how to make your brain do difficult things. We talk about why silence is such a powerful psychological
so this
weapon.
video is about how to do
read
hard
women
things,
like
how to get your brain to do hard things, because
nature.
naturally you
how
want to do hard
your
things,
unconscious
because
emotions.
usually the hard
So if you guys want to
things
check out more
is
content,
what separates the people who are successful and the people who are not successful, right? Anytime I try to learn something, I asked myself one question. What's the one thing that everyone and the best people in this field tells people to do, but that most people don't listen to?
The way that you insinuate an idea in a person's mind is to catch them off guard when they're not expecting them. Hint at that insinuation and change the topic. Change the topic. So an example would be, if I want you to feel insecure about a woman in my life, and let's just assume that you are a Becky the white girl and you have big boobs as an example, right? But you have an average ass as an example, right? I could talk about my Brazilian personal trainer, right? And after I come from class, I'm like, yo, my personal trainer, Melissa, some shit like that. She's a Brazilian coach, and she man, she works people out like a motherfucker, man. Like she's just amazing at her job, right? And she's having another class next week, so I can't wait to go. Anyways, how was your week, fucking Becky the girlfriend? How was your week? And change the topic. Change the topic. Right? You don't have to say that girl had a big ass. You really don't. You insinuate it because she's Brazilian, she's a workout coach, and you want to go back to her class. I could promise you that this individual would want to go to class with you. And now all of a sudden she has competition without even knowing it. Or she might even fucking, if she's really insecure or he insecure, unfortunately, they may even want to get a butt lift. You know what I'm saying? Another one could be that the opposite example could be that you're dating, as an example, a white guy, Bob the white guy, right? And you want him to notice you more because he's not paying much attention to you. Do the same thing rather than saying, hey, I have attractive guys in my life. That's too obvious, that's too direct, and it looks and it's not going to have much of an effect on him. The best thing that you could do is insinuate that you have other guys in your life. So you could talk about, oh yeah, I just got a new I just got a new personal trainer, and his name is Tyrone, right? Or you could talk about how, like, oh yeah, I just came back from my new session. I just hired a personal trainer. His name is Tyrone, or something like that, right? And he's such a great trainer, actually. Like, he's really good at his job. He's actually one of the best in the city, because he's just great. Like, I cannot wait for the next session. Anyways, how was your day, Bob the Builder? How was your week, Jake the accountant? I can promise you, in his mind, he's gonna be like, dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, Tyrone, the personal trainer, sure sounds like a tough guy, man. What the fuck? Like, what is he gonna bang her, right? That's what people think. You might think it's insecure, you might think it's silly, but because you're insinuating that you have somebody in your life, he's gonna be thinking about it. And the key is to change the topic. Change the motherfucking topic, because you want him to be talking to you, but inside he's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, he's gonna be like, oh man, my day was good, like I had a long day. But in his mind, he's like, what the fuck? Like, how do I, Tyrone, what the hell? And he split up, and it causes an emotional disturbance. It confuses him. It makes him feel distressed. It makes him want to talk about the issue, but he doesn't want to come across insecure. So then what they do is that they'll then begin to say, okay, maybe it means I need to work out to compete with him, or maybe he'll even want to go to the gym session with you. But the point is that you're insinuating that, and it's causing confusion. But the key, and you could do this with almost anything. With almost anything, you could do this. Insinuation works through a passing remark, right? A hint dropped, and then the subject is changed. The hint will register in the back of their minds. You could do this by by a subtle stop of their ego and insecurity. This is pretty much like a subtle stab at their ego and insecurity, which is people's main weakness. And then you quickly change the topic, which makes them forget the source of this insecurity. Once that seed of insecurity grows, of Tyrone or fucking like Becky the Brazilian butt lady, right? They'll feel that insecurity, but they won't know the source. But they'll feel a need to get your validation. Insinuation allows you to bypass defenses because it's not conscious. It's a communication directly to the unconscious, right? Insinuation is almost like talking about a certain program or mentorship, and then slowly changing and then changing the topic, right? Like saying, for example, anyways, so I had a client, one of my one-on-one clients, and he told me that he wanted to do this. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about boom, right? I insinuated that I had one-on-one clients, and I changed the topic, right? And then the next time you think about getting coached, you think about me, right? Because this is the thing. The reason why this works is because it works by on stirring your fantasies and your desires. So you have to insinuate something that they really want. You got to make sure they want something like that, right? You have to know what their insecurities are and what will fix their insecurities, right? So like I said, look for the right victim, or better yet, an example of me. I have female clients. What they want is to find a relationship, to be loved. That's an insecurity. So what I do is I provide I subtly provide an ability for you to work with me. So then I insinuate anyway. So I was working with a client who needed coaching, and I helped her with that. And this is why I'm making a video. So today we're going to be talking about, boom, right now I insinuated that I could potentially help in your needs, right? But you don't ask people to work with me one-on-one, even though I do. But insinuating, changing the topic also has an effect, and it increases people's need to want to work with you. An example is like, I know somebody who I don't like too much, to be honest with you, but this individual is really good at advertising her expensive coaching. She charges like $5,000 for coaching, which I don't agree. But what she does when she goes to like to get interviews, she says, I ask her, so tell me, how do you become so productive? Well, let me tell you something. This is what she said. Let me tell you something. For me, in my life, the most valuable thing that I ever had was mentorship. Okay, I got mentorship, and because of that, my mindset instantly changed. The quickest way to get it, just like I did when I was younger. And one of the things that they taught me was to prioritize, and make sure you do it right. Anyway, so that's my answer. Get coaching, but if not, prioritize, right? Anyways, and if people are interested, I have coaching, boom, right? And I swear to God, every time she fucking answers a question, that's what she does. And from what she tells me, because I don't talk to her no more, but I just didn't like how much she charges. But what she told me is that worked. Like every time, like other like pickup artists, what they say is like, for example, pickup artists who teach guys how to meet women in the streets, what they say is kind of like the best way to learn how to pick up women is to get coached. That's just 100%. It's just the best way, right? But other than that, the best way is to actually apply what you learn, right? For example, I got coached. I went out, I paid, and I could promise you it was worth it. But the most important thing outside of that was practicing, right? So you see how he's insinuating that. And then he's changing the topic, right? Other ways is that you could insinuate a slip of the tongue. Apparently, like saying, like for example, if you want to talk about a secret, but you don't want to look like somebody who talks about people, you could say, you know what? Never mind. Anyway, so what are you up to today? And they can be like, wait a minute. What were you gonna say? Nah, it's not good. I don't like saying that. Tell me what you were gonna say. Oh, all right, look, man, don't tell no one. Boom, and now you don't look like too much of a gossiper. Like slips of the tongue. It's also better to indirectly talk about how much you like somebody. It's better to insinuate your love for somebody than to directly talk about it. Your silence about it will have more insinuating power. For example, we're talking, if you're a man and a woman, right? And we're both friends, right? One of the ways to insinuate your love, it could be like you're having a conversation, right? For example, do you know when let's just say you're talking to a group, right? And there's an overweight person. Right? Everyone is skinny except that overweight person. And then you're talking about health, right? Let's just say you're talking about a random seminar and you're talking about love, right? As an example, right? And then when you're talking about love, you could be like, anyway, so let's just say you're the big person, right? And I'm looking at everyone. Anyway, so yeah, man, like in order to love something, you have to love it. For example, let's just say you're overweight. Let's just say you're overweight and you want to lose weight because it's difficult, right? I can promise you, because this person's the fattest person, I'm gonna look at them. It's not even gonna be automatic. It's not even gonna be conscious. You're gonna look at them, right? So my eye contact to you, I'm like, my eye contact is saying, you're a fat ass. Like my eye contact. So you could be talking to somebody and they're your friends, and you could be like, yeah, man. So it's very hard to find somebody that you love, right? But sometimes you're friends with somebody for a long time, and deep down, this person really loves you, and you're just never gonna really know, you know, because they just have love for you. Anyway, so did you, by the way, did you watch that show from yesterday? Right? The point of doing that is kind of like, rather than saying that I love you, you kind of like find ways to hint at it. You know, you give them that look. It's like saying, yeah, so yeah, two friends could love each other. I think so, 100% they could love each other. Anyway, so you change the topic. What this person is gonna say, they're gonna be like, what did he mean by that? Like, was he saying that he loved me? Because he looked at me weird. That's way better than saying that I love you. Or it's better to show that I love you through your actions. That is still an insinuation, right? Sending mixed signals, all right? Hot, cold, push, pull. In other words, 1 second you show interest and the next second you don't show interest. 1 second you texting him with a whole bunch of LOLs and a whole bunch of emoticons, and the next second you send them a one-word response. Sending him mixed signals will make him think about you. You'll make him think about whether or not you're actually attracted. And what happens is that because of that, you're mesmerizing him. You're making him think of you. Okay, and that is what causes attraction. The investment in neurological energy on you causes people to become attached to you. All right, so sending mixed signal, I hated when girls did that to me, but I can promise you that when you send mixed signals, the reaction is going to be very good. Okay. By the way, if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindforattraction.org. Click on the description down below. You guys can work with me one-on-one. You guys can email me questions. We have different ways to work with me one-on-one. We have monthly coaching for a whole month. You guys can have access to me 24/7. That's called Coach in the Pocket. Click on the description down below to get that type of coaching. Other things, so the next strategy that he teaches is the transgressive and the taboo. The transgressive and the taboo is pretty much anybody that goes outside of their boundaries, like dating somebody who's a drug dealer when you're somebody who's really conservative, right? Or doing BDSM, or being persuaded, or trying group sex for the first time, right? When you do something that society considers taboo, wrong, fucked up, all of those things causes people to feel extra alive. It takes them out of their world, right? Like, the reason why is because, for example, the most famous type of porn is taboo porn, incest. The most famous type of porn, right? And also the most famous type of porn are pretty much taboo shit, right? So whatever it's outside the limits of your culture could be put in this category, right? It could be whatever is sinful and whatever is wrong, right? Fantasy plays in BDSM. Hints that you're somebody that's transgressive or taboo. Maybe you're a criminal. Maybe you have hints of evil inside of you. Maybe you're having an affair with somebody that is taboo, right? Maybe you're dating somebody who is not supposed to be dating you. Maybe he's too old for you. Maybe fucked up. You're going to prison for this. Maybe she's too young for you. And if she's too young for you, boy, you better stop that shit, because you're gonna get caught eventually, right? But that's one of the reasons why they do it, because it's taboo, it's transgressive, it's wrong, it's fucked up, right? And so if you're able to inspire that in somebody, some of the ways that you could do is find out their dark side and find a way to engage their dark side, right? And an example could be two people who are into drugs, right? And they love each other because they have this drug romance. That is addictive, right? Or maybe they have a unique type of relationship that is not socially acceptable. That is also taboo and addicted, right? So when you insert that in a relationship, it just makes it wrong. It makes it fucked up. It's the same effect that toxic relationships have. You know you can't, you know you shouldn't be doing it, and yeah, you're still doing it, right? And those are some of the strategies that Robert Greene teaches that are fucked up and evil, man. People, ladies and gentlemen, you got to make sure to use this and wield this sword carefully. Have pre-selection, have a little triangle, hint that there's other guys who are interested in you, hint that you went to hang out with another guy, hint that you went to hang out with one of your buddies. Just make sure that he knows that you are wanted by other men, because I can promise you that I was with a girl like how long ago, like a couple months ago, and I liked her. She was very cool, but as soon as I saw that she was talking to another guy as well, which I don't mind most of the time, but as soon as I saw that, I can promise you that I actually felt a little jealous. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what does he have that I don't have? And I started looking at his profile and what sort of stuff. And mind you, I'm a decent, confident person, right? And so it worked on me.
Okay, so showing pre-selection, having a little triangle, talking about another guy in front of him, friendly. Make sure you don't talk about nothing sexual. You know, like I suck his dick. Like you don't do that. But just talk about him casually. You know, it's gonna make him think. Guys are very territorial. Okay, and again, it may not seem like it's gonna work, but if you make signals and talk about another guy, it's gonna stir up that jealousy, and jealousy causes people to want you. Okay, because you're not jealous of something that you don't want. Think about that.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what are other evil techniques that Robert Greene has in his book that I didn't mention. Click on this comment down below and let me know, and I'll reply to most of the messages. All right, guys, so I want you guys to check out my online course called Dark Game. That's right, people, Dark Game. And this course is pretty much, I review to you the secret tactics, the secret techniques to create attraction in almost any woman, right? But not just attraction to the point that makes her want to see you all the time, where she's the one initiating all the contact, right? Now just imagine to be able to keep all of the girls in your life that you lost because of your stupidity. Imagine, and I had stupidity too. Imagine being able to keep them. Imagine being able to have 5, 6 women available to you, wanting to see you. Imagine being able to create intense relationships where they're all doing all the work. People, that kind of stuff does exist, people. Now, I'm not gonna promise you that you're gonna bang like 40, 50 women. I'm gonna promise you that you're gonna be able to keep the women you have, that you get with. I can promise you that keeping them will increase with this course. But let me keep showing you something. This course is pretty huge, people. It's a huge course. This course has over 50 videos, right? And some of them you could get for free. If you just sign up, you get free videos, right? But in these videos, let me show you guys the course, right?
All right, guys.
That's me right there, right? In this video, I pretty much teach you guys how to find your purpose, right? All this is how to find your purpose, discovering your purpose, right? I teach you guys then about female psychology, all of the principles about female psychology you guys need to understand. I then teach you guys the mindset, the proper mindset that you guys need to deal with women. After that, I teach you guys 21 videos on how to game. I mean, it's pretty much unbelievable, man. I gotta make this available, right? But it's unbelievable how many, I pretty much put everything: outer game, social circuit game, strategies, threesomes, foursomes, everything, right? And on top of that, I give you guys a few bonuses: how to overcome approach anxiety, why you can't take actions, a Dickens pattern to change your mentality, how to go from open to transitions, right? 81 minute long, people. This is like, I don't know how long this is, but this is hours, and I mean hours worth of content. And you get a 30-day money back guarantee. I mean, you without questions asked. All for $99, people. This could be around a few thousands, to be honest with you, right? But you guys get it for $99, right? All you gotta do is just go over here, purchase the course, you know, and you'll get access to it. And if you don't like it, you could just message me and get your money back, people. Look, man, don't be hard-headed, people. Don't be hard-headed. This is the course that you guys need, right? It gives you guys everything. I cover everything. I could promise you, man, you're not gonna get a more in-depth course on how to attract women and keep them more than this. All right. Anyways, people, check it out. 30-day money back guarantee. There is no risk, and you can get the free course. You can get the free trial. The free trial are these videos that you get for free, right? You guys could just sign up. You can watch all of these videos for free, right? And you don't have to pay. All right. Anyways, I'll see you guys inside. I want to see you guys inside because, again, people, you can't lose nothing. There's a 30-day money back